This is a quiet space. There is no urgency here, no dramatic promises, no emotional pressure. If something needs time, it is given time. Silence is not awkward here, it is welcome. Hello, welcome to Vasudra. Before we go anywhere, just notice where you're sitting right now, your body, your breath, the quiet noise inside your head. Most of us move from one thing to the next without ever really arriving anywhere. Vasudra exists for people who look capable on the outside and feel tired on the inside. People who handle responsibility well, who show up, who keep things running, and yet somewhere inside there is a feeling of being stretched too thin. Not broken, just worn. We live in a time where we know a lot. We know what we should do, how we should heal, how we should grow, and still anxiety keeps showing up. Burnout feels similar. Rest feels unfamiliar. Why? Because knowing something is not the same as being able to hold it. The mind in old texts is described like a wild horse, not dangerous, not bad, just unattended. A wild horse doesn't need to be beaten, it needs steady hands. Vasudra is about learning how to hold yourself without becoming harsh with yourself. Many people tried life coaching. They became efficient, productive, high functioning, but inside they stayed restless. Some people turned to spirituality. They felt calm at moments, but drifted away from real life. Others leaned into religion. They found structure, but also pressure. Vasudhara was born in between all of this. It is not about pushing harder, and it is not about floating away. It is about standing where you are, with a little more steadiness. There's an old story that explains this better than any advice ever could. When the ocean was churned, everything was disturbed. The first thing that came up was poison, not nectar. Life works the same way. When pressure builds, work, family, responsibility, unspoken emotions, what rises first is bitterness, fear, exhaustion. Shiva did not destroy the poison. He did not pretend it wasn't there. He held it right here in the space where you could either swallow pain or throw it at the world. That middle space is clarity. Vasudhara teaches you how to stay in that space, not suppressing, not exploding, just steady. This podcast will not promise you peace every day. Some days will be messy, some emotions will still rise. What changes is your capacity, your ability to pause, to feel without falling apart, to act without inner noise. Yoga was never about escaping life, it was about learning how to live without tearing yourself apart from the inside. This is what this space offers. Religion and spirituality are often mixed together. Here, nothing is forced. Rituals are explained, not imposed. Mantras are used like breath to anchor attention, not to ask life for favors. You are not asked to leave your life behind. You are asked to meet it with a little more clarity. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Most people who come here are not struggling on the surface. They're capable, functional, responsible. They manage work, they manage families, they manage expectations. And yet, somewhere inside, there's a quiet tiredness. Not the kind sleep fixes, not the kind motivation touches. It exists because most of us were trained to cope, not rest. From a very young age, we are rewarded for holding things together, for managing pressure, for absorbing emotion. But no one teaches us how to release what we absorb. In the Mahabharata, strength is never praised without grounding. Again and again, it hints at the same truth. Strength without steadiness becomes a burden. People today are not weak, they are overholding. They hold families together, they hold teams together, they hold relationships together. And slowly, even when the mind refuses to listen, the body keeps score. We live in an age of information. We know what to do, we know what's healthy, we know what's toxic, and yet knowing hasn't translated into peace because peace is not an intellectual achievement. In the Gita, Krishna does not say, understand life and you will be free. He says, practice steadiness again and again. Healing today has become informational, but the nervous system does not heal through knowing. It heals through safety, through rhythm, through repetition. And you can read 10 books on calmness and still panic when silence arrives because silence was never made safe for you. This is why exhaustion today is not physical. If it were physical, sleep would fix it. But people sleep and still wake up tired. Globally, burnout studies show something telling. Even people working reasonable hours report fatigue, anxiety, numbness. This is not exhaustion from work, this is exhaustion from constant inner vigilance. Always alert, always bracing, always managing. Vasudara enters here quietly, not as a solution, not as a promise, but as a space where you don't have to perform your healing. It doesn't ask what's wrong with you, it asks what have you been holding on to for too long. Vasudara is for people who don't want to escape life and don't want to be crushed by it either. It doesn't make you softer or stronger. It helps you become steadier, like the earth, which carries everything without noise. Vasudara does not fit neatly into labels. It borrows structure from coaching, stillness from spirituality, rhythm from religion, but it does not belong to extremes. Modern coaching teaches performance. Modern spirituality often floats away from reality. Religion sometimes forgets the nervous system. Life today needs integration. In old Indian thought, life was always balanced. Artha without dharma collapses. Moksha without responsibility floats away. That missing middle, that is where Vasudhara lives. The name Vasudhara itself carries this meaning. It means that which holds and nourishes, not dramatically, not loudly, like the earth holding seeds, without demanding proof. Steadiness mattered more than success because success without steadiness makes you anxious about losing it. Steadiness allows you to fail, rebuild, pause, and still remain intact. In the Puranas, Shiva is not praised for conquest. He is revered for stillness under pressure. That matters. When life churns everything at once, the same thing happens every time. Poison rises first, not nectar. This is not a myth, it is psychological. Pressure, responsibility, fear, they churn the inner ocean. What surfaces first is bitterness, anger, exhaustion. We shame this discomfort today. Ancient wisdom didn't. It understood something subtly. What rises first must be held, not avoided. Most people swallow their poison or throw it onto others. Very few learn to hold it calmly. Shiva did not destroy the poison, he did not deny it, he held it at the throat. the space between impulse and expression. Suppression turns pain inward into illness. Explosion turns pain outward into damage. Holding creates transformation. That image is not religious, it is deeply practical. This middle space between suppression and explosion is emotional adulthood. This is what Vasudara trains. Vasudara does not promise happiness every day. It does not aim to erase emotion. It increases your capacity. You still feel, but you don't drown. Steadiness in daily life looks quiet. You pause before answering. You sleep without scrolling. You breathe fully without noticing. Nothing dramatic, but everything changes. Yoga was never designed as escape. It was built for people living full lives, householders, parents, workers. It was meant to help you stay whole, not run away. This is why Vasudhara is clear about its boundaries. False hope creates dependency. Anything that makes you smaller, fearful, or obedient is not wisdom. Real guidance strengthens your spine internally. It builds clarity, patience, self trust. Questions are welcome here. Blind following is not without silence. Wisdom stays intellectual. Silence is where integration happens. That is why the space moves slowly. The nervous system learns slowly. Depth requires digestion. 2 minutes of stillness can change more than hours of content. Even science confirms this. Breath and stillness lower stress hormones within minutes. Over time, Vasudhara will explore emotions, discipline, food, breath, relationships, ritual explained gently, nothing compulsory, nothing forced. My own path into this was not a choice. Responsibility came early, strength came early, rest came very late. I learned to manage life before learning to meet myself. That imbalance eventually asks for correction. Stress did not announce itself loudly, it accumulated gradually until the body spoke clearly. Healing was not built on positivity, it was built on rhythm, routine, gentle discipline. Discipline gave me structure without cruelty, direction without pressure. Vasudhara is not my story. It is what remained after life stripped away everything unnecessary. Stress wears us down quietly. Steadiness rebuilds us slowly. Vasudhara is for strong people who are tired, sensitive people who want stability, people who want to stay engaged without burning out. If you're listening and feel tired inside, know this: you are not failing. You are carrying more than you realize. Pause and ask yourself gently, where do I need a little more order and a little less pressure? That is where Vasudhara begins. This is a quiet space. There is no urgency here, no dramatic promises, no emotional pressure. If something needs time, it is given time. Silence is not awkward here, it is welcome. This podcast does not replace doctors. It does not offer cures. It does not sell solutions. Anything that makes you fearful, dependent, or smaller inside is not wisdom. Real guidance makes you steadier, not weaker. Questions are welcome. Blind following is not. Do not rush through this. Listen slowly, one episode at a time. Let something land, let something settle. 2 minutes of stillness is more powerful than hours of consumption. This is not about adding more to your life, it is about creating a little space inside. This podcast is for people who are tired of extremes, not wanting to constantly push, not wanting to withdraw either. People who want to stay engaged with life without being consumed by it. Strong but not hardened. Sensitive but not unstable. That balance is learnable. In the episodes ahead, we will talk about emotions, relationships, discipline, breath, food, temples, spirituality, and letting go. Nothing here is compulsory. Everything is an invitation. Now, why do I walk this path? Not because it sounded spiritual, because life cornered me into learning steadiness. Responsibility came early, being strong came early, rest came late. I learned how to manage everything around me before I learned how to sit with myself. Stress did not announce itself, it settled quietly. And one day, my body spoke. Cancer. Not sudden, not random, and accumulated stress. Healing was not just an option or a treatment, it was rhythm, routine, consistency, discipline, food, sleep, breath work. Positive thinking was not enough. Discipline, gentleness, consistency was what held me. After healing, life did not soften overnight. Relationships changed, work faltered, confidence wavered. Spirituality did not rescue me, it trained me to rebuild without bitterness, to step back without collapse, to move forward without losing myself. Vasudara is not my story. It is the structure that remained after everything unnecessary fell away. Stress wears you down quietly. Steadiness rebuilds you slowly. If you're listening and feel tired inside, you are not weak. You are carrying a lot. Pause. Take one slow inhale and a longer exhale. Ask yourself gently, where do I need a little more order and a little less pressure? That is where Vasudhara begins.